derived, leftmost derivation, rightmost derivation, what is ambiguous grammar, how to identify whether a given grammar is ambiguous or not. Even we have studied that which kind of problems are created when a given grammar is ambiguous. That's why always we need to remove ambiguity from a given grammar. Although it is not possible for us to remove ambiguity from all the grammars, we will learn some steps to remove ambiguity from a grammar. Or right now we will not go into actual removing ambiguity of a grammar. We will talk about simplifying the grammar. So what are the different steps for grammar simplification? So there are basically three steps to remove or to simplify given grammar. So these three steps. First is removal of epsilon production, removal of unit production, and next is removal of useless production. So whenever we want to simplify given grammar, we will always need to apply these steps in a same sequence. Means first we will be removing epsilon or a empty or a null productions from a given grammar. After completing this first step, we will be applying second step, that is removal of unique production, and then only we will be applying third step, that is removal of useless production. So always we will be applying these steps in a same sequence. So we will study one by one each of these steps. So very first step is removal of epsilon production. So this is our first step, removal of epsilon production. So how are we removing epsilon production? It's very simple. Whenever we want to remove epsilon production, first we will need to identify which productions are leading to epsilon or which productions are actually empty production. So the productions of the form A leading to epsilon is called as null production. Here also we are very well aware, in place of epsilon there can be symbol lambda as well. Both means same thing, that it is a null production. So productions of the form, either there will be a direct production A leading to epsilon, then that production is called as null production, or there can be the another sequence that there is a production of the form X leading to alpha and all symbols of alpha are nullable. There is a production of the form X leading to alpha and all symbols of alpha are nullable. Now what is the meaning of alpha? Alpha is nothing but set of or some string of non-terminal symbol or a string of variable. So that is nothing but alpha. Means if there is a production like X leading to, if there is a production like this, X leading to AB, then this complete string or this complete sequence AB, which is nothing but sequence of non-terminal, that is called as alpha. So if there exists any such production of the type X leading to AB and symbol A is also nullable and symbol B is also nullable, then this symbol X is also nullable. So there are two cases. Either there will be a direct production A leading to epsilon, or there will be indirect production in the form of X leading to alpha, where this alpha consists of some non-terminal which are directly leading to epsilon. So following the chain rule that X leading to alpha and alpha leading to epsilon, X will also become a nullable symbol, or X will also become a epsilon production. That is the meaning of this sentence. So let's take an example for this. So again, this is a very common example. If you will use any book, if you will refer any online resource, you will be observing this example. So there is a grammar which is consisting of production rule. Is this window visible to everybody? Whatever I am editing, is it visible to everybody? Yes, no, please reply. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So there is a production. rule S leading to ABA, there is a production rule, capital A leading to AA epsilon, and there is a production rule, capital B leading to BB epsilon. Means first we will be applying first sequence that we need to identify those symbols which are directly nullable in the form of A leading to epsilon. So here we can observe that there exists a production rule A leading to epsilon. Hence, this non-terminal or a variable A is nullable. Then there exists this capital B leading to epsilon. Hence, this non-terminal B or variable B is epsilon. So these two symbols or these two variables A and B are directly nullable by using this first rule. Now there exists another rule as well, that there is a production of the form X leading to alpha and all symbols of alpha are nullable. So here this ABA is nothing but our alpha. And we know that by using these two production that A is nullable and B is nullable. So we are aware that this S will be also a nullable symbol. So here we have observed A is nullable because A leading to epsilon. Direct production is available here. B is nullable because B leading to epsilon. Once again, direct production is available. And now there exists S leading to ABA. So by following the chain rule, A is also nullable. This first A is nullable. This B is nullable. This A is nullable. Hence, by following the chain rule, this S is also nullable. So we have identified that which are the nullable symbol. Once we have identified nullable symbols, then what we will do? We will add some new production rules in the same grammar by removing those nullable symbols. So that rule is defined like this. So there are basically two steps for removing nullable production. First step is this, that production of the form A leading to alpha, identify nullable symbols. If there is a chain rule, by using that chain rule, identify nullable symbol. Then there exists the second step. And in the second step, what we are doing? For each production of the form A leading to alpha 1, create all possible productions of the form A leading to alpha 2, where alpha 2 is obtained from alpha 1 by removing one or more occurrences of nullable symbols or variable. What does it mean? If there exists a production rule, I will simply once again copy this here. So if there exists a production rule like this, A leading to BC, then if we have observed that B is also nullable and this symbol C is also nullable, then what we will do? We will insert some more new production rule in the grammar. First, we will remove this B and we will insert the production rule A leads to C. Then we will remove this C and we will insert the production rule A leads to B. So this production rule will also remain in our grammar, but along with that we will be inserting two new production rule. One is A leading to C and another is A leading to B. So we have to try all possible combinations. We can remove one symbol, we can remove two symbol, we can remove three symbol. Right now there are only two, but if it is like this, B, C, D, and if we are aware that B can be removed, C can be removed, or B is also nullable, C is also nullable, and D is also nullable, then first, once again, we have followed the same strategy. First, remove only one symbol. So the production rules will be A leading to C, D. We are removing only one symbol at a time. Then next, remove the second symbol. So new production rule will be inserted A leading to BD. Once again, we will be removing this D and new production rule will be inserted in a grammar will be A leading to BC. This is by removing only one nullable symbol at a time, but we will have to remove two nullable symbol as well at the same time. So if we will remove these two nullable symbol B and C, then new production rule which will be added in a grammar will be A leading to D. Similarly, if we are removing C and D, then the new production rule which will be added in a grammar will be A leading to B. Once again, we can remove B and D and the remaining symbol will be C. So we can add the new production rule as A leading to C as well. So we need to add all possible production rules which we can insert by removing one or more nullable symbols. So whichever the combinations are possible, those many combinations we will have to insert as a new production rule. So right now we will be deleting this and we will be discussing our original example. So this was our original example, S leading to ABA, A leading to AA epsilon. This was our original example, and in that example we have identified A as nullable, B as nullable, and S as nullable. So let me copy this grammar once again. So now we will be starting from the first production rule, S leading to AB. So if we will remove this symbol A, then we will be remaining with, if we will talk only about the first production rule S leading to ABA, then we are removing this very first A. So what will remain here? BA. This new production rule will get inserted. Then we will remove this B. Once again, the new production rule will be inserted as AA. Again, we will delete this last A and the new production rule which will be inserted will be S leads to AB. Okay. Then once again, now we have deleted one symbol at a time. Now we will start deleting two symbols at a time. So once again, we will be deleting these two symbols, AB, and the new production rule which will be inserted will be, which will be inserted will be S leads to A. Once again, we will be deleting these two symbols. Right now we have deleted BA. So we are inserting the production rule S leading to A. Even we can delete these two production rule AB. Once again, the production rule inserted will be same, S leading to A. That's why we will not repeat it. Then we have deleted AB. We have deleted BA. Then we can delete this production rule, that is we can delete this symbol, this variable capital B. Then the new production rule will be inserted is once again S leading to AA, but that S leading to AA is already we have inserted in our grammar. That's why we will not repeat it. Is there any other new production rule which we can add here? Yes, no? Just we are talking about only first production rule. Is there any other new production rule we can add? Any doubt here? Yes, no, please reply.
No, ma'am.
No doubt. Okay, then please tell me, is there any other production rule which we can insert here?
No, ma'am. That's all.
No?
No, B is not
We are
nullable.
talking
That's
only
all.
about this first production rule S leading to ABA, and we are removing nullable symbol. Right now we are aware that S, AB, all these three are nullable symbol. What we can do, we can delete this A and we can delete this last A. We will delete this first A and we will delete this last A, and in that case we can add a new production rule, that is S leading to B. So we need to check all combinations, all possibilities we need to check. That's why this one more production rule which can be added in this grammar is S leading to B. Now first production rule, we have added all the possible production rules by removing one or more nullable symbol from the first production rule. The same way, we will check for the next production rule, that is A leading to AA epsilon. So what are the possible production rules for this AA? Once again, the possibility is only one. We can remove only this A. We can remove only this A. So the new production rule which can be added or which can be inserted is A leading to small a. There cannot be any other production rule which can be added here. Then next production rule we will talk, that is B leading to BB or epsilon. Once again, we know that symbol or capital B or a variable B is nullable, so we can remove this capital B and remaining part, that is B leading to small b, that we can insert as a new production rule. So our new set of grammar will be consisting of original grammar plus newly introduced production rules. All these will be present in this new set of production rules. Is it clear? Any doubt? I assume that there are no doubt, so we will move forward. Now, once we have inserted all possible production rule, so we are getting a new grammar. Next is we will remove all the production rule which are leading to epsilon. So here this is our grammar. So let's rearrange it. So after rearranging it, it will become okay. Let's rearrange. The first production rule is S leading to ABA. That we will maintain in our new grammar. That is the next step. Remove epsilon production. So next step is our remove epsilon productions. So what we are doing, we are writing the first production rule, S leading to ABA. There is no epsilon, so we can insert. Then next production rule we will insert of S leading to BA. Then we will insert next production rule, S leading to AA. Then S leading to AB. So we are grouping all production rule which are starting from the starting symbol S at one place. So this is our next production rule, S leading to AB. Then next production rule is S leading to A, that I am writing here. Next again, next production rule is S leads to B, that I am writing here. Then all production rules of S has been inserted in a new set of grammar. Then next production rule is A leading to small a, capital A. So okay, let's insert it in a new set of grammar. Then where is another production rule of A? Here it is A leading to small a. So that also we will insert here. Now here exists a production rule A leading to epsilon. This production rule we will not insert in our new set of grammar because we are already performing this step to remove epsilon production. That's why we have inserted some new production rules after removing one or more nullable symbol. In the same way, we will insert the production rule for B, that is B leading to small b, capital B. So we will insert a new production rule, B leading to small b capital B. We will insert a new production rule, that is B leading to small b. But we will not insert a production rule B leading to epsilon. So this is our new set of grammar by applying the first step, that is removal of epsilon production. Is it clear? Yes, no? Any doubt here? Please reply. Any doubt? Bhushan Patil, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. If it is no, then let's take one more example. Very simple example we will take, and we will not discuss about grammar simplifying, whole states of the grammar simplification. We will see only the first step of grammar simplification, that is removal of epsilon production. So this is our example 2. So once again, what is the first step for removing epsilon production? The very first step is identify nullable symbols. So which are nullable symbols here? Which are nullable symbols? Nullable symbols are those symbols which are directly or indirectly leading to epsilon. So here is a production rule, A leading to epsilon. So variable A or non-terminal A is directly nullable. Similarly, this non-terminal B, that is B leading to epsilon, is directly nullable. It is also leading to epsilon. So non-terminal A and B are nullable. What about non-terminal S? Is it nullable? Yes, no? Yes, Sanap, can you answer?
Ma'am, it is nullable.
Yes. Non-terminal S is also nullable. Why it is nullable? Because there exists a production rule S leading to capital A, capital B, or a non-terminal A, non-terminal B. And since both these symbols are nullable, S will also become nullable, and hence our nullable symbols are A, B, and S. All these three symbols are nullable. So now first step is over. We have identified nullable symbols. What is the next step of removing epsilon production? Next step is for each production rule, remove one or more nullable symbols and insert new production rule. So here S leading to AS, AB. So we will talk only about the first production rule, that is S leading to AS. So as we are aware that symbol S is nullable, we can remove this symbol S and we can insert a new production rule, that is S leading to A. In the same way, now there is no other possibility for this production rule. Let's check for this production rule, that is S leading to AB. So once again, what we will do, we will write S leading to AB and we will remove one by one each nullable symbol. So first let's remove this B. The remaining one will be S leading to A. Once again, I am writing the same. And now rather than removing A, I am removing B. So the new production rule which will be inserted is S leading to A, S leading to B. For this production rule, S leading to capital AB. So is there any other scope possible for this first production rule? There is no any other scope, or there is no any other production rule which is possible for insertion for this first production rule, because we have already removed one by one each symbol and added its corresponding production rule. So what will be the new set of production rule? New set of production rule will consist of all original production rules plus newly inserted production rules after removing these epsilon production rules. So new grammar will be what? So new grammar will be what? New grammar will consist of this production rule, original production rule, S leading to AS, AB. Let's insert all the production rules of S. So newly inserted production rule was this, S leading to A. Again, newly inserted production rule was this, S leading to non-terminal A. Let's insert it here. Then next production rule, we have inserted S leading to A. Next production rule will be S leading to B. So insert this production rule as well. Then next production rule is what? Next original production rule was A leading to epsilon. Now since it is A leading to epsilon, we cannot insert it in our newly formed production rule because we want to rewrite this grammar by removing these epsilon production. So neither there will be a production rule A leading to epsilon, nor there will be a production rule B leading to epsilon. Our new set of production rule will consist of only these set of production rule. So this was another example of removing epsilon production. So the next step for grammar simplification is, after removing epsilon production, we are eliminating unit productions. So as we have discussed that there are 3 steps for grammar simplification. First is removal of epsilon production, second is removal of unit production, and last is removal of useless production. So yet our grammar is not simplified because we have applied only the first step, that is removal of epsilon production, but we have to apply the next step as well, that is elimination of unit production. Now what is the definition of unit production? Unit means nothing but 1. So whenever there are production rules which consist of only single non-terminal symbols, then such production rules are called as unit production. So let's rewrite it in the form of more scientific way. So if you will refer the book, you will find the same concept is mentioned as like this. What is unit production? A production of the form A leading to B is called as unit production if A and B both are variable or both are non-terminal. Just now which we have discussed. For every CFG, that is for every context-free grammar G with unit production, we can find corresponding grammar G1 having no unit production such that L of G, language of original grammar G, and language of modified grammar G1 are same. So every grammar G we can convert into a G1, means every grammar with unit production we can convert it into another form with non-unit production rules. So how to do that? So basically this technique is based on the expansion of unit production until it disappears. Once again, we will be following chain rules. So what does it mean? So this technique is based on expansion of unit production until it disappears. Of course, we will not apply if there exists a cycle. If there exists a cycle of production rules like A1 leading to A2, A1, A2, A3, nothing but what? Different non-terminals. So generally the non-terminal which we use are like A, capital B, capital C. So here it will mean nothing but what? It means nothing but A leading to B, leading to C, and once again leading to A. And so if such type of cycle exists, then we cannot remove any unit production. And if there exists such type of cycles, then we will need to remove such cycles. So we will not work if there is a cycle A1 leading to A2. This A1, A2 is nothing but a name of different non-terminal. Non-terminal A leading to B, leading to C, leading to A. This is a cycle. If such cycle exists, we cannot remove such unit production. Add all non-unit productions of G to G1. So once again, just like ambiguity removal, here also we will be forming a new set of grammar. So whichever production rules which are non-unit production, those will be inserted into new grammar G1 as it is. There will not be any change for the non-unit production. Then what we will do? We will locate every pair of variable AI and AJ such that AI leads to AJ after applying some set of production rule. Once again, this I and this J is nothing but a subscript which represents A1, A2, A3 or whatever is possible in that grammar. These are nothing but different non-terminal. So we will identify a pair of non-terminal AI leading to AJ by applying 0 or more production rules. From pairs constructed in above, means once we have identified a pair, we will apply chain rule. So here it is. From pairs constructed in above step, construct a chain like A1 leading to construct a chain like A1 leading to A2, A2 leading to AJ leading to alpha. Means what? Ultimately, we are interested in this particular string alpha. We are supposed to identify such a production rule alpha, which is consisting of more than one non-terminal. Means it is not a single non-terminal. This alpha may consist of two non-terminal, it may be a combination of terminal symbol and non-terminal symbol, but this alpha should not be single non-terminal. So actually what we are doing, we are identifying some set of sequence of application of production rules so that if there exists a production rule like this, A1 leading to A2 leading to AJ leading to alpha, this each of the production rule will get replaced with new set of production rule, like we will insert a new production rule A1 leading to alpha. Then we will insert a production rule A2 leading to alpha. We will insert a production rule AJ leading to alpha. That is nothing but the meaning of this. Each variable AI to AJ will derive alpha. This chain, we will break this chain A1 leading to A2 leading to AJ. This chain we will break and we will simply insert a new production rule. A1 leading to alpha, A2 leading to alpha, AJ leading to alpha. Then let's see example for that. Once again, we will be using our same example, the example which we have used for removal of epsilon production. So from the example 1, we have actually removed epsilon production, and after removing epsilon production, the grammar which we were getting was like this. This grammar we got after removing epsilon production. We can see here our original grammar was consisting of this: S leading to ABA, A leading to AA epsilon, B leading to BB epsilon. This was our original grammar. From this grammar, we have removed all epsilon productions by removing one or more nullable symbols. We have inserted some more production rules. And after removing those production rules, we have got a new production rule, which was this: S leading to A, S leading to A, S leading to B, S leading to A, S, AB. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, this was our grammar after removing production rules, or after removing epsilon production rules, we were getting this grammar. So let's apply the next step, that is a removal of unit production. So from this grammar, which are unit productions? A single non-terminal leading to a single non-terminal, that is nothing but a simple definition of unit production. So there exists a production rule, capital S leading to capital A. So this is what? This is nothing but unit production. There exists a single non-terminal on the left hand side of the arrow. There exists a single non-terminal on the right hand side of the arrow. This is our unit production. So what we will do, we will identify a pair. So our first pair is this one, S leading to A, that is our unit production. What is our second pair? Our second pair is S leading to B, that is our second pair of unit production. This first pair we have received because there was existing a production rule. There was existing a production rule S leading to A. That's why SA is the first pair of unit production, and since there existing a production rule S leading to B, this is our second pair of unit production. So what we are doing, we are breaking this chain of unit production. So how to break this? Simply we will replace the production rule S leading to A by the productions of this non-terminal A itself. So our original production rule was S leading to A. This was our unit production, and this unit production we want to remove. How to remove this unit production? To remove this unit production, simply we will replace A with the non-unit productions of A. So I will mark it bold the same way we use it in the derivation. So here also we are doing nothing but a derivation. So what is the non-unit production of A? Non-unit production of A is A leading to A. Now here one more thing we need to take care is that this production rule, capital A or a non-terminal A leading to a terminal symbol A, this is not a unit production. We say a production rule as a unit production only when single non-terminal, like here, single non-terminal is leading to a single non-terminal. If non-terminal is leading to a terminal symbol, then that is not called as unit production. It is a non-unit production. So here capital A leading to small a capital A is also a non-unit production, and capital A leading to small a, that is also a non-unit production. So we will be inserting these two production rules here, or we are replacing this non-unit production with the non-unit productions of capital A. So in place of S leading to A, here in place of S leading to A, what we are doing, we are inserting a new set of production rule, that is S leading to small a capital A small a. Similarly, we will be doing this for the next unit production, and our next unit production is S leading to B. So this is our next unit production, S leading to B. Once again, what we will do, we will replace this non-terminal B with the production rules of B. So let's replace this B with production rules of B. Once again, what are the production rules of B? Production rules of B are BB leading to B. So let's replace this unit symbol with non-unit production. So we have introduced S leading to BB or B. Now, is there any other non-unit production? No, there is no other non-unit production. So what will be our resultant grammar? Our resultant grammar will be consisting of the original grammar plus the new set of production rule. So our new set of production rule P2, it will be consisting of all original grammars or all original production rule. ABA non-unit, it will present AA non-unit, okay. AB non-unit, okay. Then BA, it is once again non-unit, it will be present, but A and B, these two symbols or these two non-terminals has been replaced with the new set of production rule S leading to AAA and S leading to BBB. Hence, our new set of production rule will be consisting of these set of production rule. It won't be consisting of S leading to capital A, S leading to capital B. It is a very simple topic, but it needs little bit practice. With some practice, it is very easy to do this.